Picture this, you're working in the zone, you're getting things done, and inevitable happens, and distraction starts to call. Every 40 seconds, something is trying to distract you. And we give into multitasking because it feels good, right? And the novelty makes us feel even better. And here's a simple question. How much time do you deliberately spend on a task? How much time is that thought out in advance? You've proactively said to yourself, I'm gonna focus on this. It's time spent on the intention, what you're gonna do and when. Attention is much like choosing a movie. You hear recommendations or you hear enough people talking about it and you make that decision. It's a series of events that happen beforehand and how you're feeling on that day. And this is autopilot in action. It can actually help us make decisions. Effectively, it's like sourcing from the crowd. And because of the nature of life, we rarely plot out every single thing that we do. Imagine going to the supermarket and looking at the label of every single item. That would be exhausting, right? We are basically running on assumptions. Assumptions from food labels, assumptions from recommendations from movies, assumptions from friends, family, assumptions down to the tasks and actions, and ultimately the decisions that we make. And when managing our assumptions, managing our attention is vitally important, because when we don't manage it, it switches to this type of cruise control algorithm, which is just autopilot. When a text comes through, we react quickly. When a Teams message appears on our laptops, we want to instinctively read it and reply. And when you're back from the weekend and you start talking to your colleagues, you ask a set amount of questions. A preset amount of questions you always fall back on. And dare I say it, do you really even care? So to get back to the point, these are all type of things that happen when you're on cruise control. Your attention switches to it and you're not even thinking about it. And for the most part, our environments don't have our best interests at heart. Everything is vying for our attention. Even if you think you're immersed in watching this video right now, it's requiring a certain amount of attention. And if you're still here, how much of your attention are you spending on this video? 70%? 50. And when you've caught yourself visiting the same group of apps, you are well within this realm of cruise control. Your attention is like radar. It's picking up all these points of attention. And here lies the problem. The most stimulating thing in your environment is probably the least rewarding. You've probably heard that saying, you are what you eat. Well, the same applies to your attention. You are what you pay attention to. A person that reads negative news articles is more likely to be negative in their thoughts. A person that researches food recipes is more likely to cook. A person that watches a type of content is more likely to be fed that type of content on a continual basis. And your attentional space is constantly reforming, expanding, and shrinking. And objects of your attention fade as quickly as they came into your mind. Most of your attentional space should only hold two things: what you're processing and what you want to accomplish. And with small tasks like habits, you may be able to do two things at the same time. Maybe it's hoovering while listening to music, or you're cooking while on the phone. These small habits can be done comfortably on cruise control. So something complex like writing requires conscious effort. The more complex the task is, the less attentional space that we have. When the state of your attentional space is clear, you now feel clear. The tighter you keep your attentional space, the more clearly that you think. And when we fail to focus deeply on one thing, instead we focus on these highlights, the highlights of what we're doing. And as a consequence, we forget how our time is actually spent. And it's like those 30 minutes have just disappeared into the ether. And it's something that's not even rewarding or filling in any type of way. And you actually feel a bit weird after. It's like your attention has been misdirected. And this is actually a term in magic, misdirection.
It's the subtle arts that cleverly diverts the audience's attention, leaving them baffled and awestruck. The very soul of an illusion, misdirection defines the boundary between what is seen and what is unseen, between what is remembered and what is forgotten. It's a captivating dance between the illusionist and the audience, where the latter believes that they were following close behind the magician, but in truth, they were on the wrong path.
So beware of misdirections, because it's your thoughts, tasks, conversations, projects. They could be all misdirected by your attentional space. And this is all done usually without your awareness. So here's my theory. The state of your attentional space determines the state of your life. But intention is like the gatekeeper to our intentional space. It lets in the productive and keeps out all of those distractions. Attention without intention is wasted energy. Focus on our attention allows us to get stuff done, and most importantly, what's more rewarding.